Welcome back to our channel. Today, we are diving deep into the shadows of Port Charles, where the line between protector and predator has completely dissolved, leaving our favorite characters to navigate a web of lies that stretches far beyond the borders of upstate New York. If you ask me, we have spent years watching Josslyn grow up in the shadow of corporate wars and mob turf battles, completely blind to the fact that her true destiny was never in a classroom or a hospital. She was always meant for the shadows. The arrival of Tristan in Port Charles did not just disrupt her life, it shattered the very foundation of the espionage world, pulling back the curtain on a legacy that dates back decades. When Tristan first stepped onto the scene, the narrative decoy was perfect. Everyone, including us, believed he was simply another WSB agent sent to act as a shield for Josslyn. It made sense on paper. But great storytelling thrives on deception. Hidden deep within the most classified vaults of the WSB lies a ghost project known as the Scorpio Protocol. Created years ago by Robert, this protocol was never meant to see the light of day. It contains secrets capable of bringing down entire global intelligence networks. And Tristan? He is no agent. He is the last living witness who knows exactly where that world-shattering file is hidden. Consider the sheer brilliance of how Josslyn was manipulated. Brennan, operating from the high-ranking corridors of the WSB, handed her what seemed like a golden opportunity, her very first official assignment. Track Tristan. He painted Tristan as a vital asset, a man who needed protection from unseen predators. We watched Josslyn accept this mission with a fierce determination, believing she was finally stepping into her own power. But the illusion did not last. Trust is a fragile thing. It shatters easily. Josslyn began to notice a terrifying pattern. Every single agent assigned to protect Tristan did not just fail, they vanished. One by one, they disappeared into the night. This is where the narrative tension tightens. Josslyn is not someone who sits back and waits for answers. She dug deeper, risking everything to uncover the truth behind these disappearances. What she found was a cold, hard betrayal that left her reeling. The very man who had given her the mission, Brennan, was the one who had ordered a hit on Tristan months ago. Imagine the psychological whiplash. The mentor is the executioner. The mission is a trap. Suddenly, Josslyn found herself stranded in a wilderness of mirrors, unable to distinguish between her allies and her enemies. Who do you trust when the person who gave you your badge is the one holding the smoking gun? Just when we thought the stakes could not get any higher, Tristan dropped a bombshell that connected Josslyn's present danger to her own bloodline. He revealed that years ago, he worked closely with Jax in Australia. This was not just a passing mention, it was a lifeline. Tristan possessed a secret video message left by Jax, recorded specifically for the day his daughter found herself staring into the abyss. When Josslyn watched that video, the emotional weight was staggering. Jax's voice, echoing from the past, delivered a chilling warning. He told her that if she was watching this, it meant the WSB had been compromised from within. The impact of Jax's warning cannot be overstated. It was a visceral punch to the gut. Josslyn's entire belief system, the framework she had built around her budding career with the WSB, and her respect for Brennan, disintegrated in an instant. Jax was not just her father, he was her ultimate protector. Hearing him confirm the rot at the core of the agency changed everything. She was no longer a trainee playing a game. She was a target. The realization was terrifying. She was completely alone. Naturally, a storm of this magnitude could not remain contained. After Josslyn managed to send out a desperate, coded distress signal, two of the most formidable players in the game mobilized. Jason and Anna, their entry into the storyline immediately shifts the power dynamic. Anna, utilizing her deep espionage connections, stumbled upon a revelation that sent shockwaves through the canvas. Robert was not dead. The rumors of his passing were a carefully constructed lie. Instead, Robert was being held captive in a dark, forgotten facility in South American territory, placed there by a corrupt faction operating at the highest levels of the WSB. But if you think this is a simple story of good versus evil, you have not been paying attention to the brilliant writing. As Josslyn continued to clash with Brennan, the narrative revealed a fascinating layer of moral ambiguity. Brennan is not a cartoon villain. In his own twisted, pragmatic way, he is actually trying to prevent a massive internal coup that could tear the WSB apart. He views Tristan as a necessary sacrifice for the greater good. But his secrecy is his undoing. Because he refuses to play with open cards, Josslyn cannot and will not trust him. The ideological clash between them reached a boiling point when Brennan demanded she hand Tristan over. For the first time, Josslyn stood her ground and said no. She defied her superior. Let us talk about the fascinating evolution of the bond between Tristan and Josslyn. It did not start with soft glances or easy romance. It started with friction. They sparred constantly. Tristan thought she was reckless and impulsive. Josslyn saw him as a frustrating enigma, a man hoarding secrets like weapons. Yet, as they fled from highly trained international assassins, something profound shifted. Unlike Dex, who always sought to shield her from the harsh realities of his world, Tristan treated Josslyn as an absolute equal. He did not patronize her. He did not hide behind chivalry. He looked at her as a partner. This mutual respect sparked an undeniable, slow-burning attraction. But in the world of espionage, every sweet moment is followed by a bitter truth. Just as Josslyn began to let her guard down, Tristan delivered a confession that threatened to tear them apart forever. He admitted that he was the one responsible for Robert's capture. It was an accident, a careless leak of information from his past, but the consequences were devastating. Suddenly, the man she was falling for was revealed to be the architect of her family's greatest tragedy. How do you reconcile affection with betrayal? Can forgiveness exist in a world where mistakes cost lives? This brings us to the absolute climax of this thrilling arc. Josslyn was forced to face the most harrowing dilemma of her life. She could hand Tristan over to Brennan and the WSB, using him as a bargaining chip to secure Robert's immediate release. Or she could choose to believe that Tristan had genuinely changed, risking Robert's life to embark on a highly dangerous, unsanctioned rescue mission with Tristan by her side. It was a test of her instincts, her morality, and her heart. Meanwhile, Anna, Jason, and Brennan were all running their own parallel operations, turning Port Charles into a high-stakes chessboard where one wrong move meant total annihilation. In the end, the rescue was a breathtaking success. Robert was brought back from the brink, proving once again that the old guard of Port Charles is nearly impossible to kill. But the victory was bittersweet. Before the dust could even settle, Tristan vanished. He left no trail, no clues, only a simple, haunting text message on Josslyn's phone. He wrote that he was not the hero she wanted him to be, but left her with a promise of a future reunion if destiny allowed. The silence he left behind was deafening. Months passed, and just as the quiet began to settle over Port Charles, the next chapter of this global game was delivered directly to Josslyn. A thick, unmarked envelope appeared on her desk. Inside was a highly classified file, and on the cover, a simple handwritten label read, Agent Jack's Mission 1 begins. The implication is thrilling. Josslyn is no longer a student caught in the crossfire. She is now the centerpiece of a global shadow war. And Tristan? He remains a phantom, a rogue element drifting between ally and adversary. We have to ask ourselves, when they finally meet again on the battlefield, will they be standing on the same side or will they be forced to pull the trigger on each other?
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.